Chapter 3 Macroeconomics. Topic Money and Banking. So, first, money. Money is an item that everyone accepts as a medium of exchange. It is widely recognized as a means for purchasing goods and services and repayment of debts. It allows people to receive anything that they need for a livelihood. In ancient times, people used to obtain things through the barter system. Here, two individuals or party would exchange goods as the services that the other needs. But the earlier methods of bartering did not have the ease of transferability that eventually led to the invention of money. Example: if anyone has rice but needs milk, he or she must find someone who not only has milk but also has the requisite of preparing meals. What if anyone finds a person who can offer milk but needs clothes? A trade cannot occur in such a situation due to such recurring hassles. A relatively more straightforward medium of exchange came into existence, and now it has a worldwide recognition. As per the meaning of money in economics, it is a medium of exchange, a unit of accounting that allows people to make any transactions. In terms of exchange, traders accept money as a medium for buying or selling commodities, and employees consider it as a means of remuneration for their labor. As a unit of accounting, it acts as a quick and easy method of calculation. Okay, types of money. First, fiat money. It consists of the type of currency that is legally issued by government. In simple terms, it does not involve physical commodities like gold and silver. Example of fiat money includes the US dollar, the euro, and the pound. Next types of money is fiduciary money. Are you aware of the check is? Well, it is one of the primary examples to understand fiduciary money. A check is defined as a means of payment between the payer and the payee, which is based on a trust between people rather than the official involvement of government. To put it simply, fiduciary money is a type of currency that involves money based on trust between the payer and the payee. Next is commodity money. As the term describes, is defined as the type of money that is based on the value of commodity. These commodities hold an inner value of their own. It varies from commodity to commodity. Instances of commodity money include gold, silver, and copper. Next type of money is commercial money. It is the type of currency that is generated by commercial banks. Commercial banks are responsible for making money by providing loans. It can be in any form of personal loans, mortgages, etc. In simpler terms, the amount of money that is produced by commercial banks is called commercial money. What are the properties of money? The concept of money in economics is considered as the crucial element for the proper functioning of an economy. It has become an essential means of exchange in the entire world. It has a value, and people use it to obtain things that they wish to avail. Specific properties of money that account for its worldwide usage. Interchangeability. Money has a universal application as one can interchange with other things. Repeated usage. One can use it again and again to purchase anything. It does not lose its value with time. Lastly, transferable. Anyone can carry money from one place to another due to its portability. Next is banking. A bank is a financial institution that allows people to make deposits and receive credit. In India Bank, are licensed by the Reserve Bank of India. It operates to provide financial assistance to borrowers and allow cash transactions. Similarly, banking is an industry that allows credit, handles deposits, and provides financial help to borrowers. More broadly, it is a network that facilitates the money flow in the economy. Banks also facilitate companies with an adequate amount of funds to finance their operation. Money and banking. Money and banking are the two most essential components that drive the economy. Money allows people to make transactions, where whereas become banks play a vital role in circulating money supply in the market. Different types of banks. Retail banks. These banks offer services to the public and they deal with the retail market. Their services are known as the general banking as they provide facilities such as saving accounts, current accounts, short-term loans, credit cards, personal loans, and etc. Most retail banks offer wealth management facilities to their customers. They also provide foreign exchange facilities to their NRI customers. Next is commercial banks. They are also known as corporate banks, and this institution provides specific service to the companies. Apart from its daily banking functions, they offer cash management, trade finance, real estate, and employer service to their corporate clients. Next type of banks is exchange banks. These banks mainly facilitate foreign trade in country. They accept, collect, and allow discounting of bills of exchange. These banks also deal in buying and selling of foreign currencies, along with general banking activities. Next type is cooperative banks. This primary function of this bank is to provide loans at a relatively lower rate of interest to farmers. They offer both short-term and long-term loans facilities to their customers. Short-term loans include credit for purchasing fertilizers, seeds, etc. Whereas long-term funds includes offering to farmer for purchasing lands, etc. Central banks. A central bank is considered as a lender of last resort. It does not directly deal with the general public. Instead, it regulates the functions of other banks. They are responsible for controlling inflation, rate of interest, and monetary policy, among other necessary functions in an economy. So why is banking essential? The primary purpose of a bank is to keep customers' money secured. People find it safe to save money in banks as they provide protections. Apart from security, it allows interest on saving to their customers. Instead of keeping money at home, people find it more convenient to save in banks rather. Why is banking essential? Banking has become an integral part as it facilitates advancing loans to different entities. For instance, they offer loans and credit cards to individuals to inflate their purchasing power. They also provide financial advice to its borrowers to aid business decisions. There has been a constant evolution of money and banking with time. With the ever-increasing demand of customers, new regulation has been implemented in banking industry. The value of money always exchanged with time, and banks ensure a smooth flow of money in the market. Money supply. The total stock of money in circulation among the public of a particular point in time is called money supply or supply of money. Money, forming part of the supply of money, can be in the following forms: currency notes and coins or CU, demand deposits such as saving banks deposits or DD. These are those deposits that can be withdrawn on demand from banks. Other deposits such as time deposits, term deposits, and fixed deposits. These are those deposits that can be withdrawn only after a specific time. Money held in post office saving account, deposits of bank in other banks or RBI except CRR. What constitutes money? Anything that can serve as a medium of exchange as a unit of account, a store of value, and be used for payment of debt can be called money. There are various types of money such as commodity money, metallic money, paper money, and etc. What is meant by currency in circulation? Currency in circulation refers to the banknote and coins that are not held by the central bank or banking institution, but are instead in the cash reserve of banks or in the hands of public and are actively being used in an economy for transactions. How does the central bank control the money supply? The central bank makes use of various monetary policy instruments to control the supply of money in an economy. What role does the supply of money play in inflation? Inflation is more or less directly related to the money supply in an economy. The higher the supply of money, the higher the inflation, and vice versa. How does the money supply impact interest rates? The supply of money and interest rates have an inverse relationship. This means that generally, as the supply of money in an economy increases, interest rate tends to decrease and vice versa.